Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
On today's Smart 7, Rishi in jeopardy as Tories seek new leader. The UK could face conscription and lots more. It's Thursday, 25th of January. It's Irish Coffee Day, and happy birthday, Alicia Keys.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Even as UK politics appears to be gearing up for a general election, the Tory party seem to be heading towards a full-on leadership crisis. It started with a YouGov poll funded by a mystery organisation called the Conservative Britain Alliance and fronted by former Brexit negotiator Lord Frost, who described the findings as stunningly awful as they predicted a near-total Tory wipeout. More polling shows Rishi's popularity at Liz Truss levels, and the voices of discontent have been growing, with former Minister Simon Clarke calling for Rishi to be replaced before the election. He spoke to the BBC's Chris Mason on Wednesday evening.
And I totally respect the strong views that something like this evokes, right? No one likes the guy who's shouting iceberg, but I suspect that people will be even less happy if we hit the iceberg, and we are on course to do that.
Things didn't go well at Prime Minister's Question Time either, as Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer was quick to put the boot in.
He spouts so much nonsense, no wonder they're giving up on him. And even now, as his government crumbles around him and his own MPs point out he's out of touch, got no plan for growth, crime or building houses, the Prime Minister is sticking to his one-man Pollyanna show.
Russia accused Ukraine of shooting down a plane on Wednesday, which they say held Ukrainian prisoners of war who were headed to an exchange. The IL-76 transport plane crash in the Belgorod region left no survivors, and Kyiv declined to confirm or deny any involvement. But President Zelensky accused Russia of playing with the lives of Ukrainian prisoners. With the ongoing war in Ukraine and escalating tensions across the Middle East, 20,000 UK troops are due to take part in the NATO Steadfast Defender exercise over the next number of weeks. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence for European and NATO Policy, Jim Townsend, says the US may need the UK to get more involved in global security.
The UK has an excellent military, and we need the help because we're stretched pretty thin ourselves. We need more Brits. We need more British aircraft, more British pilots.
This week has already seen Senior General Sir Patrick Sanders suggest that if NATO does find itself in a war with Russia, it's not impossible that conscription would have to be introduced in the UK to ensure that the army is suitably staffed. Former chair of the Defence Committee, Tobias Ellwood, says he may be right.
There is a 1939 feel to the world right now. These authoritarian states are rearming. There's a risk averseness about the West in wanting to deal with that. And institutions, global institutions such as the United Nations, aren't able to hold these errant nations to account. In fact, the UN, I would go further, is reaching its League of Nations moment.
The Post Office was back in the spotlight on Wednesday as Ofcom released its report on the future of the Postal Service. The report suggests that there could be savings of up to £650 million if deliveries were cut back to just 3 days a week. If Saturday deliveries were ceased, that could save £200 million. There's already been strong opposition to any changes from politicians and unions, but the level of letters delivered has been in decline over the last number of years. Dame Melanie Dawes, the chief executive of Ofcom, says at the moment they're just outlining possible options and not making any recommendations.
Ultimately, it's going to be for the company to propose what they think is deliverable, and also for the government and us as the regulator to consider all these issues in the round.
There was a further attack on Red Sea shipping on Wednesday as Houthi forces fired on 2 ships who had to be assisted by the US Navy. It came as the Israeli army said they had encircled the city of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, which is the final ground assault in the current phase of fighting. There were also multiple civilian casualties when a UN refugee agency building was hit by tank shelling. As the violence continues, there have been increasing international calls for discussions to begin on what should happen next, but Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to refuse to even discuss the so-called two-state solution. He was criticised on Wednesday by former Israeli PM Ehud Barak.
Israel has to agree in advance that at the end of this chapter, probably 9 months or a year from now, we will open a serious discussion, political discussion about two-state solution that should end up with Palestinian state. But it's clear to all other leaders except for Netanyahu that this is the deal.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Liverpool head to Wembley and Vicky McClure wants to take John Cena dancing. Right after this.
Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Welcome back. Wednesday night saw the lineup for the Carabao Cup final decided. It was the second leg of the second semi-final, which saw Liverpool head to Fulham. Jurgen Klopp's men had a 2-1 advantage from the first leg, and it turned out to be crucial. Liverpool got an early goal, then Fulham equalised with 15 minutes to go, but they couldn't get a second to take the game to extra time. Jurgen Klopp is looking forward to facing Chelsea in Wembley.
But the boys did really well. I'm really happy with so many things. And in the end, the only thing what counts is we are through, we are qualified, and it's a big night. And for the very young ones who had played an incredible role in the whole journey, it's so cool to see them in the dressing room now. It's fantastic.
If you're a fan of Vicky McClure thrillers, I've got good news for you. No, it's not that Line of Duty is returning, but her excellent bomb squad show Trigger Point is on its way back to ITV this weekend. It's been almost 2 years since we checked in with ESO 15, but the new show promises plenty of explosive action. Vicky is not just about the bombs, though. She popped up on the One Show with Argyle star John Cena to pitch an excellent idea, invented by her husband. It's a daytime nightclub and John is on board.
Majority of my dancing at the moment is in my kitchen. I'd much rather do it with my mates. A good hour.
Finishing early has always been a concern of mine, but now I know there's an entire group.
You are very welcome.
Fine. Everything's great.
Netflix really have a knack for making sport exciting. They've done it with Formula One, with tennis and even with golf. Now they've turned their attention to rugby union with a new show called Full Contact. Their cameras were busy following the teams during the 2023 Six Nations tournament, and they've just dropped all 8 episodes. So why not soak up the atmosphere and get psyched up for the kick-off of this year's tournament, which starts on Saturday 3rd of February when Ireland travel to France.
The Six Nations is the tournament to decide the best team in Europe. Rugby is prime. It's dog eat dog.
When you go off to a game...
I'm not going to be at war.
I feel like you are going off to war sometimes.
Embrace the fear.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Tired of ads crashing your comedy podcast party? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free comedy to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.